Blue Archive has one of the most fun plot I've ever seen in a gacha game. Somehow, this linear story feels as interactive as a detective novel. And I'm not saying that lightly, it is far better than any other gacha game story I've read so far. Because most gacha game stories expect you to just sit back and enjoy whatever happens next. They are amusement park rides. Just sit down and shut your brain off. You're not supposed to think about the plot holes and inconsistent characters. Most don't even let you guess what will happen next. It's all spectacles with no substance. And that's a big problem. Sure, it looks cool. But when the story is over, you'll remember almost nothing. Because the writers just don't give you a reason to get involved in the story. You don't feel like you're there with the characters. You're just watching from the sidelines. And this is where Blue Archive feels completely different in Volume 3, Chapter 1. On the surface, it's just a story about a simple tutoring job for 4 students who failed their exams. But underneath that is a deeper political layer. One of these students is secretly a traitor planning to betray the academy. And the leader wants them gone at all costs, even if she has to rig the exam. Now Sensei has to find the traitor before the final exam, or all 4 of them will be expelled. And this instantly creates tension. Now you're not just consuming the story, you are inside the story, trying to solve this puzzle. The writers makes you think like a detective. When these girls are cleaning the pool or chatting in the dark with their swimsuits, your mind is somewhere else, trying to pick up on any details in their words that can help you identify which one is the traitor. And that is immersive, because that's exactly what Sensei is doing in this situation. You are Sensei, actively trying to find the traitor to figure out what to do next. Like any good detective story, you need to use deduction to figure out who done it and why. Is it the kind Hifumi, the anxious Koharu, the cold Azusa, or the lewd Hanako? Hifumi is definitely not the traitor. We already knew her from Volume 1. She doesn't have any motivation to betray Trinity and isn't even the type of character that can do it. And the writers know that. They don't want to waste your time guessing obviously wrong suspect, so they just use her to reveal new clues and deepen the political subplot. Koharu is also not the traitor. She is just too dumb and incompetent, so the writers just reveal her backgrounds outright. So that just leaves Azusa and Hanako. Azusa is that serious but socially awkward character. Her introduction in the story is her fighting other students with tear gas and explosive mines, which highlights her military training. She is a new transfer student from other academy, but she is not smart, at least not academically. If she is the traitor, she has all the incentive to not get bad scores in the first place, which is kinda weird. Meanwhile, Hanako is the opposite of Azusa. She is very lewd, but surprisingly smart. She can teach Azusa on various exam topics, but she is pretending to fail. If you look closer, you will notice that she's also very observant and always seems to be doing something else in the background. Now, the story clearly wants you to choose Hanako, but her motives just don't add up. Why would a potential traitor want to be expelled before the job's even done? But at the same time, you can tell Azusa is actually a very good kid. She doesn't seem to have any motivation to betray the academy, and yet she is the one. At the end of Chapter 1, it was finally revealed that Azusa is the traitor. Or is she? Because her character so far doesn't seem to show she's pretending to be nice. And sure enough, Azusa's character's arc is at the heart of the political plot in the story, which grows bigger and bigger in every chapter. The guessing game continues on who and what caused the actual conflict in this volume. But one thing I really like about Blue Archive is that they never let the plot complexity overshadow real character development. In fact, almost everything that happened in the plot is the result of playable characters making personal choices. Hanako's arc was about refusing Trinity politics, Azusa was about hope and nihilism, and even Sensei get to have his own ideals tested in this story. He outright refused to play these political games and just focus on keeping his students safe from harm. But that doesn't mean he's a passive observer either. He is actively trying to understand his position and try to find the best way for everyone moving forward. It takes a great writing skill to combine the plot and character arcs without bloating the story. And in my opinion, Blue Archive nails this almost perfectly. And I think a lot of gacha games can learn from that. Instead of making fancy animations, unnecessary world building, or overcomplicated plot, they should instead focus on involving the players in the story itself. Give the players enough clues so they can predict what will happen next and be excited about it. Because players being able to make prediction is a good sign that they fully understand the story, what's at stake, and what can go wrong. It's the sports betting effect. When the players have made a prediction, they will be more likely to be invested in the story and finish it to the end just to see if they're right. But as always, keep the story personal to the characters and push them to grow through their character arcs. This is the golden rule in how to write a good story. And I promise that if any gacha game did this well, their stories will be instantly more fun to read. But that's just me. What do you think? What is your favorite main story chapter in Blue Archive? And did you guess right when you first played through this chapter? Let me know in the comment section down below. I'm planning to make several videos about each chapter in the Trinity arc, so if you want to see that, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell so you'll be notified when that comes out. And with that, I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.